Hello, my friends. It's Andy coming to you live from Orange County, California, and my lovely bride.
This is Hedia coming to you now from Ventura County.
Oh, I don't like
Separated.
that. I know. Me too.
We'll get it together.
We will. It'll happen. All right. Before I go anywhere, we need to go send you to livingfearlessdevotional.com. That'll send you to Apple Podcast, where you can subscribe and hit the 5 stars and hit a review. We need more reviews. I'm not against begging you right now to put some reviews and some 5 stars. We got 1 review. Just take a moment out of your day, a moment out of your day, just to put a little 5-star, a little review, telling how fabulous Hedia is. You don't have to talk about me. Just talk about God. Talk about God, how fabulous God is, how fabulous Jesus is, and that's all you need to do. Just 5 stars. So go to livingfearlessdevotional.com, or you go to the app and then type in the search Living the Fearless Devotional or my name, Andy Falco Mendes, and then subscribe and hit the stars and then leave a review. All right, do that. How are you, Hedia, this fine morning?
I am fantastic. Thank you. And you?
Oh, you got it. Your internet kind of went bloop for just a second. You sound like domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Well, and I just upgraded my internet because you said I needed it to go faster, and it looks like it got worse.
Yeah.
Fantastic technology.
That can happen. Yeah, it's weird. No, it was perfectly fine until we went live.
Yes. See that?
Now you look like a Van Gogh painting.
Okay.
Your nose was on your forehead and your chin was somewhere around your chest.
Why don't you continue and start reading, and I will jump out and jump back in.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, here I'm going to read the devotional while He's doing that. That sounds great. Good news or good idea. Good news. Weird. Here we go. All right. So today's devotional, as usual, at least for the last several months, is from Oswald Chambers, and it's sorry, I'm clicking the button. And do that before I can start. My utmost for his highest. And the devotions for February 19th, taking the initiative, taking the initiative against drudgery. The script referencing here is Isaiah 61. Arise, shine. When it comes to taking the initiative against drudgery, we have to take the first step as though there were no God. There's no point in waiting for God to help us. He will not. But once we arise, immediately we find He is there. Whenever God gives us His inspiration, suddenly taking the initiative becomes a moral issue, a matter of obedience. Then we must act to be obedient and not continue to lie down doing nothing. If we will arise and shine, drudgery will be divinely transformed. Drudgery is one of the finest tests to determine the genuineness of our character. Drudgery is work that is far removed from anything we think as ideal work. It is the utterly hard, menial, tiresome, dirty work. And when we experience it, our spirituality is instantly tested, and we will know whether or not we are spiritually genuine. Read John 13. In this chapter, we see the incarnate God performing the greatest example of drudgery, washing fishermen's feet. He then says to them, "If then your Lord and teacher have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet." John 13:14. The inspiration of God is required. Drudgery is to shine with the light of God upon it. In some cases, the way a person does a task make that work sanctified and holy forever. It may be a very common everyday task, but after we have seen it done, it becomes different. When the Lord does something through us, He always transforms it. Our Lord takes our human flesh and transforms it. And now every believer's body has become the temple of the Holy Spirit. All right, let's bring Hedia back up too. And here we go. Here we are. Oh man, your internet's a little wacky. What's going on?
It's that kind of day.
Oh, oh. We have the double. We have the double. The double punch. Can't think of anything else where you're not here and your internet's not cooperating.
Yes.
Let's see if Amy felt on. A new name, Lena. Do you know Lena Herrera?
No. Hi, Lena.
You're a great team. Thank you. Well, thank you, Lena. Lena, I'm so sorry. Now, if you're not her friend, now I feel like I'm supposed to know who you are.
My friend. I just don't know her personally.
Oh, I got you. Well, thank goodness. I've done that a couple times where I go, oh, no, that person used to work for me. And I should remember that. So we're waiting for your internet to kind of fix itself there just a little bit. There's a couple things, and when you asked me before we went live, what are the things that you're going to be talking about, or what does the devotional bring to mind for you? And of course, the first thing, because I'm a huge fan of Mike Rowe, is his show Dirty Jobs. I used to love watching Dirty Jobs and watching all these other jobs that people have that most of us would not do, like cleaning outhouses, those plastic outhouses that you see at events and that kind of stuff, to a number of other jobs, stinky, dirty, nasty jobs that if we didn't have those people do those jobs, our country would be a mess, right? Our world would be a mess and would not, we would not, be able to survive without people that are, doing the jobs of plumbing, and taking care of those nasty things that we don't like to necessarily take care of. So I first I was thinking just about those folks that, thank God we have those folks. And then secondarily, then I was thinking about those things that we look possibly, and I'm talking to all of us that are online here. We are part of the 10% of what would be considered wealthy. Just the fact that you maybe have a phone and are able to watch this, that you're driving a car and you're able to put gas in it, that you're in a home that has electricity, there's a large number of people that don't have those things. And so when we maybe think of drudgery, we're thinking of like doing laundry, where a machine does laundry for us, and that kind of stuff. And so that's what it reminded me of first, is that I'm not to be so, what's the word I want to look for? Full of myself, that when I think of drudgery, that I'm not being disrespectful of other people that don't have, what I'm lucky enough to have, and what my family is able to afford and have. Even the fact that we can't go into public school, wholeheartedly right now, that we this weird thing that we have, at some point, that opportunity to have our kids in public school or whatever type of school we're sending them to. You look garbled even without me. Oh, that's you. I'm garbled too.
Yes.
Maybe it's the whole, maybe just Facebook and YouTube don't like us today, and they're trying to bring us down. Let's see. Of course, on my end, it looks totally clear. You don't know me. You don't know me. Stumbled upon your show. Your team has helped me with PTSD from a desert storm. Your emotionals are a great reminder. Thank you.
Oh, that is
wow.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Well, so just finishing my thought on that is that and then when it comes to drudgery, I try to have a positive attitude. I don't have a dishwasher that works right now, and so we do the dishes. And I know sometimes I get a hard time about not having the dishwasher and that kind of stuff. But you know what? We made the meal, we eat the meal, and again, kind of look at it like, and we're so lucky that we have water that comes out of our sink. Like right now in Texas, they don't have water. Right? They don't even have water in their grocery stores. I mean, these are the moments in time when we think, wow, how lucky am I that I can wash dishes in my sink right now, that I don't have to deal with the lack of water and the lack of services right now that Texas is even going through. And so I'm sorry if this kind of went into a different direction than actually what Oswald wants us to think of. But I just think of how lucky and how fortunate we are to live in a manner that we're able to live. Hetty, let's see if we can get some words out of you without being too wonky.
Well, funny you mentioned the dishwasher. Because yes, that is immediately what came to mind when I read this and I don't want to belittle household tasks, but I've actually worked my entire life. So I never did that. Even when I was a child, my dad, I was so engrossed in like massive quantities of school. I went to school year round and I took a whole lot of classes and I did really well. And so anytime my mom was like, hey, come and help me in the kitchen, my dad was like, leave her alone. She's got stuff to do. So, and I went from my father's home out to work in DC. I never did domestic chores. I always had somebody help me out, or I just wasn't home. And so when the Lord brought you into my life and was basically like, well, this is your dream, is to live a traditional life in a home, those tasks, I was suddenly confronted with those tasks and thought about and had to work through how I felt about them. You know what I mean? And like having him work through me, it's exactly what Oswald was talking about. Just basically saying that if you can embrace those in your spirit, he will show you the glory and the divine transformation that occurs from doing those tasks, which is what I have felt. So it's been an amazing experience for me.
Well, I'm glad you look at it. The other day you were dressed, in your church clothes, in not quite high heels, but nice shoes and a beautiful dress, and your hair's all did, and there you are washing the dishes. And I had to smile and just tell you how much I love you and appreciate you, knowing what I know, knowing where you come from and that kind of stuff. I love you, and I'm thankful for that. Where we are and how God's timing is perfect. Again, we may not have gotten along at all 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Yeah, so funny. And I'm so sorry. And this is another thing. Right now, we could be totally like, oh my gosh, this internet, and get frustrated and and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to carry on a little bit here, just for a little while, just to kind of get this message through. But these are one of the things. Again, if we were to go back, maybe 25 years ago, what it would take to get broadcast on the air, so even a few hundred people could see it, would take thousands of dollars, and like I said yesterday, a satellite dish and a bunch of other stuff. But here we are, we have the ability to broadcast and to share our message with people, and to be able to do what it is we do. And then we have like a little glitch like this, and inside I'm a little bit like, oh man, I want this thing to work, but what are we going to do? I mean, this is just the world of the internet and where we are at this time in our history, where we're going to have to get over these little bit of hurdles that kind of come up from time to time. I love Lena joining us on this day. Hopefully she'll stick around when the internet is working better. Last humor and the realness. Thank you. We try to be real, and we try to make sure that we don't get too caught up, because we are Hetty, and I know Hetty probably has a lot to say, but just really quick, we had this discussion where we are so incredibly blessed and happy and so in love with each other, but we always want to remember that there's other people that aren't on the same page as we are in life, that they're struggling with stuff. Many people are struggling with illness. Many people are struggling with divorce and that kind of stuff. And so we try to make sure and not forget that as we are in our life, and try not to forget those people that still need prayer and are struggling with one thing or another. Do you want to have anything to say about that?
Well, it was so long ago that I was struggling with many of those things. So it's not, the road hasn't ended. I've gotten maybe a little bit better at walking it. But in the beginning, as I mentioned on the last show, I was a broken Raggedy Ann doll on the floor when I met Christ. So he literally had to put me back together piece by piece. So Lena, I hope that we can encourage you on your walk, and know that the Lord is with you. Anybody who has received the Lord as his Lord and Savior will experience that transformation if you let him. It's all about a personal relationship with Jesus Christ and the indwelling of the Holy Spirit. And he will take all your hollow places and fill them with his hallowed name. I mean, that's just the best way to explain it. He will fix the broken places. And so I pray that he gives you that healing and repairs your mind and repairs your heart and gives you your dreams, makes your dreams come true.
Yeah, and just before we sign off, because we're probably going to keep this a little bit short today, is that yesterday we talked about this, that the good news is, and actually Hetty actually made me become more aware of it, is that being more God-filled, being a true Christian now, as opposed to the kind of Christian that I was before. I don't even want to say false Christian. I was a Christian in name only, and not in actions, and not in my heart and my soul. That when even maybe tragedy may be a strong word, but when something that is difficult, that we may have to go through some type of difficulty occurs, it doesn't impact me or Eddie as much as it did in the past. Like they would ruin our day, like inside, like just like, oh, and then maybe a couple days, and we wouldn't be able to get to sleep, and then we'd have stomach aches, and be in the bathroom all day long. And that's me, not necessarily Hedia, where that's how it would affect us. And then yesterday, we both had something that we went through that for us, maybe not most people, but for us was a difficult thing. And yet we're here today, even with this little hiccup here, and we're much better off than we would have been in the past. You would have been able to see it on our face. You would have been able to see it in the way we speak and the way we talk, because of the difficulty that we had yesterday. I'm going to share with you mine. I had a bone scan yesterday where I had to go and have this nuclear stuff put in me so that I could go through this machine and get the imaging and lay there for 40 minutes with my feet tied together and my arms in a pillowcase. And the thought of like, what are they going to find? Like, oh God, I hope they don't find it. Please, God, please don't let them find anything. I hope this is just a routine thing. Right. And so the old Andy without God would have gone to that place of despair, thinking, oh, they're probably going to find something. And like the whole negative side, because it's a choice, right? We have a choice to look at the negative side of things, or we have a choice to look at the positive. The positive thing is, hey, we're going to go through this. They're probably not going to find anything. And that way I can go on to the other procedure, which is going to be less intrusive and cause less long-term issues with what I have to go through with the cancer that I have. And so I chose to think, let's just get through this. It's going to show nothing. I'm going to be able to go through that other thing. But this is an important step to make sure there's nothing there, right? And so I look at that way instead of the other way, which have been the old Andy without God. You look like you've cleared up a little bit. What do you want to say about? Yeah.
No, it's the same thing. My difficulty yesterday just was a little bit nuts. But I was just like, Lord, I'm not going to let this steal my joy. It is what it is. I'm leaving the past behind. I'm going to grab dinner and I'm going to sit in front of the TV and I'm just going to watch a little mindless TV with my daughter and wake up tomorrow and start all over again. So it's just kind of letting go and letting God.
Well, there's part of that choice, right? I mean, sometimes the choice is to go sit in a dark room without anybody around you, just leave me alone. And instead, the positive came out of what you chose to do, is to spend time with your daughter and quality time. And, one of the good things is sitting there on the couch, right, and eating crap.
Yeah.
and watching a mindless show about some other people's heroics, in 911. I think you told me you were watching.
Yes.
But those are the two different paths you could take, right? I'm in despair, or whatever it is. The drudgery of my life has caused me to go into despair, and I'm going to go sit in the dark room with the blinds drawn, or I'm going to go, let's choose this other path, which is going to be much better.
And the interesting thing is my daughter knew I was in a bad mood, so she came to me. And so she's like, hey, Mom, you want to watch 911? And I was like, yes, I do.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah.
So it was really nice. She's like, she knew I took a hit, So she's like, hey, why don't we try this? And I'm like, yes, let's try this. Let's spend some time together. Let's snuggle in the bed. And tomorrow is another day.
Yeah. I'm glad your internet cleared up, because it's so much more it's so much better to be able to communicate with you, and without being distracted with your. It was so just your face got all pixelated and stuff.
And see, on my end, it looks I look perfect, and you are pixelated, obviously.
So it's one of us.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure. All right, my friends. And Lena, thank you for joining us. I hope you'll continue to join us and continue to comment. Those of you that are watching, if you wouldn't mind commenting just to say hi before you sign off, that would be great. And let us know when you're on the replay watching too, what you think about the devotional, how this hits you today. It looked like you were taking a breath to say something.
Well, and also I wanted to offer to Lena or anyone else, we have a number of our friends that watch that send us prayer requests. And I invite you, I don't know if Lena is my Facebook friend or your Facebook friend or neither. I hope both. Hey, Amy, that feel free to messenger either of us and ask for prayer requests or whatever we could do to help you in your walk. We'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, I got a hold of Amy again just to check on her. She's in Texas, and just to check on her to see how she's doing. But she's like all set. She's for whatever reason, it said normally this type of storm would have affected her, but for whatever reason she still has electricity. But she went and went to the store and got all of the things she needed to survive for a bit. And so she's just an update on Amy. She's doing good, even though she's in Texas. She's one of the lucky ones. And she has a bunch of dogs. She's a dog trainer, so she has a bunch of dogs that she could. Well, I was going to say something. What? If she got into trouble, she could barbecue them.
I was just going to say, what's she going to do? Eat them?
Well, I was going to go there, but I decided not to, so I didn't.
Okay. Well, I mean, these kinds of things, these storms remind me constantly of why I'm a prepper. So I always, to whatever extent you can in your accommodations where you live, I just always store water, food, lights, alternative, things, just because you never know. It's a crazy world.
Military grade packages of food.
Yes.
You gotta bring some of those over and we could have those for dinner with the kids. Just for fun.
It's so funny you say that, because when I was watching you scrambled eggs yesterday, I was thinking that I'm like, I should bring one of the scrambled eggs and bacon things and we should test them out.
Yeah, just to be prepared. So yeah, so I was just starting to go for something with the dogs and stuff like that, and I tried to back out of it, if you couldn't tell. Because I was thinking she could use the pelts. she had food. I mean, she has something like 10 dogs. She trains other people's dogs. She would have to explain to the people afterwards, hey, I got desperate. I was hungry, so I had to use your dog for clothing and for food. I'll buy you a new dog. It's okay.
Oh, no.
But I'm so glad I decided not to say that out loud.
Really? You just did.
Oh. All right. I don't know if you were holding back earlier because of the internet issues. Was there more that you wanted to talk about on the devotional? Was there something that you kind of left off because you were trying to keep it short?
Well, I mean, I just think when you think of the drudgery, whether it's service at the church or other things that the Lord puts on your heart to get up, to rise and shine, to go and do those things, that you take those opportunities to experience his transformation, because they will happen. For me, it happened in dishwashing. Like literally, and it's hysterical to me that Andy can't get his dishwasher to work, because there are few things that would irritate me that much as that. And in the beginning, I was like, wait, what do you mean we can't get the dishwasher to work? And he won't even let me use a dishwasher rack. So he wants them washed and dried on the spot. And I was like,
right.
Okay, Lord, you're calling me to this task, and I am going to shine through it. Now, it may seem stupid to other people, but as I was explaining, I've just never done that. I've never done it for myself. I just worked. I was always working. And it just, the Lord has done a work in me. It's allowing me to transform into the person I have told him that he has told me I would be, and that I've always wanted to be since I was a little girl. So God is so good. God is so good in the drudgery. He is good in the miraculous, in the exponential, and in the drudgery.
And you know what I love, and I'm gonna take out the dishwasher in the next house we get together too. No, I'm just kidding. What I think what I love the most is when your daughter's here with all the kids, when we have all the kids here, and where your daughter sees you at work, rubber gloves on and doing all that stuff, and I see her look at you like what is happening right now?
Is that the funniest?
Yeah, but I think it's good.
It's
right?
So sweet. And did you notice when we came home the other day and Bo was so happy to see us, she looks at me and she says, I don't think anybody has ever been that happy to see you walk through the door.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. It was she notices, she's 14. She notices all of it. And it actually is a source of great encouragement for me, because then I know that what I'm feeling inside is actually manifested, and people who love me and who know me are witnessing it.
Yeah, I love it. It's all good stuff, and that's why on this particular devotional, and I'm gonna kind of wrap this up now, because it's I just don't want to go on too far about us all the time, because it seems like we do that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people don't mind hearing it, but when I'm thinking of drudgery, I just feel so guilty to think that. I mean, again, I just feel so fortunate to have what we have, and I've kind of always felt that way. But especially being in the Christian world, just realizing, because when the old church I used to go to, Friends Church, they would go to India and build schools for children that used to have to go to garbage dumps for food, and then hike a long distance just to get water. And when you start hearing about that kind of stuff, and dealing with the homeless people I used to have to deal with all the time, just realizing that my drudgery is nonsense. It's nonsense. So if something's not working, I just go, well, we'll have to go to the river and wash our clothes, on the rocks. And I just feel like we have to do that. I don't know. I don't kind of like, whatever. It's not that big of a deal.
It's funny because you say that often, and interestingly, your own experience, what pulled you out is witnessing that with the deepest, darkest moment of your life. I'm a horrible girl to admit. I'm going to admit that those things don't strike me. Maybe it's because I grew up so spoiled, but it reminds me of being young and having parents be like, look at the starving kids in Africa. It never impacted me the way you describe it. And so watching you appreciate even the smallest things is helping me learn to appreciate the small things.
Very good. It's all good. I mean, I love watching you do your thing, and I don't like having things on the kitchen counter. She gets mad because she'll have something on there for a moment, and I throw stuff away and I put stuff away, and she goes, "Where'd that thing go?" I go, "I'm sorry."
Can I just share with people? I don't know. I mean, he's a dude, and he's got 4 kids, and so he has soap. He won't, and there's no dishwasher. Dishes must be washed and put away right away. There's no rack, but he keeps putting the soap under the counter. And I was like, honey, we're doing dishes literally every hour. Can I please just leave the soap on the please, no. In this little corner right here? No, I walk away. As soon as I turn my back, the soap is under the counter. I'm just like, okay. I'm gonna bend down again and get the soap.
Drudgery. The drudgery of getting the soap from under the counter. Oh my gosh, I love our life so much. So Amy wants to point out, she's telling me to calm down. It's not that bad in Texas. I'm sorry. You don't have to eat the dogs and use their pelts.
Thank God.
Oh. Let's see here. OMG, OMG, you guys are so much like us. The four of us got to do a live together.
Yes, that would be fun.
That would be fun. We're gonna have to do that. I've been having some thoughts. I invited another friend of mine too. That I was thinking about. I haven't run this across you yet, since you're now a co-host of the show. On maybe a particular day of the week, we have a guest that breaks down the devotional with us, just to get a different perspective. So we're not always talking about ourselves. And even like my friend Everett, who's a very spiritual man, he was the one who called me out when he saw that I was at your house and wanted to know if we were sleeping together. And I said, no, I have COVID. That's why I'm there. And then, yeah, it'd be fun to have Deborah and her honey, as she calls him. I think that's her name for him. That'd be fun to have you guys on too. That'd be awesome. All right. Anything else, Hedia?
That's all for me.
It's a bit of a fun one. It never fails. Even on the ones I think, what are we going to talk about? Because I don't know that I have much to say on this one. And then there we are. And glad your internet cleared up a little bit there, so we could actually see your beautiful face. Actually, I could see your beautiful face. But all right, my friends. We love you guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure and subscribe. Make sure and comment. Thank you for building up the comments there. That was great momentum for comments. And go to YouTube. Go to the Andy Falco Show on YouTube and subscribe there. I'm trying to build up the audience on YouTube. Again, if we can spread this out a little bit so that whenever we get taken, I remember I got suspended on YouTube for a little while and we were able to stay continued on Facebook. And then at some point, I'll probably get suspended on Facebook. And so those of you that are on YouTube will be able to see what we're doing in the other places. So that's kind of why we're kind of like all over the place. So try to visit all those locations. That would be great. And we would appreciate that. One more comment just popped up. Her doll. I knew it was something like that. I couldn't remember exactly what it was. My doll. What's your name for me? Oh, my love. We call each other my love.
Yeah.
I'm not usually, you do that normally. So I don't know what you've done to me, but normally I just call you by your name.
Really? Well, actually,
yeah.
You never call me by my name. And sometimes I ask you to, because I don't think one nickname is appropriate to share, but most of them are not my name.
Oh, all right. Well, we got to go. But we love you guys. Thank you for watching. And it was Lena, right? I already went off of the comments. Yes. Lena, our new friend. Lena. Thank you for joining us, and please stick around and continue to watch. We hope that we can bring some inspiration to you. All right, my friends, we love you. Have a great start of your weekend. It's Friday. I just realized today's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. Oh, it's almost church day.
Almost.
We love our Sundays. We love our Sundays. All right, my friends, we love you.
God bless you. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye.